I think this art helps us connect to our broader culture. It's a tool for us to express who we are. The dance form is called Bharatanatyam, and it has its origins in South India, and specifically Tamil Nadu. It's a state in southeastern India. As I teach dance, I get a lot of students who grew up in this country, and because they're so far away from their culture of origin, it's hard for them to relate to who they are in the context of New York City or the United States. I think learning dance helps them identify with their background, with their culture, have a sense of pride in who they are.
Having moved abroad recently in New York, I think it's a wonderful way to connect with your culture and the tradition that you belong to.
It's amazing to be in such a diverse community and, in the city where all these different things are coming in and I'm, absorbing everything, and that reflects on me on stage.
It came in as a completely pleasant surprise when I moved in here, and to see the respect they have for artists. They keep the art form as pure as they can. It's as pure as it is in India.
So this is traditional Indian classical dance makeup, and what we're doing right now is we're putting it on for a performance. So we really highlight the eyes and make our eyes look bigger, because as you'll see in the dance, we use a lot of our eye movements that relate to our abstract dance, which we call nritta, and also our abhinaya, or expression. This is traditional temple jewelry from South India. This is what devadasis, or the traditional dancers, used to wear when they danced. And you also see the same kind of jewelry similarly worn by brides in South India. So because the devadasis were so-called married to the god, lord of the temple, they would also dress like a bride. So this is why we still wear this very traditional jewelry. This is a stitched costume, skirt costume made from a traditional sari. And this is a variation of what was traditionally worn way back by the devadasis. They actually wore saris. So this is based on the sari costume. Bharatanatyam is based on Carnatic music, and Carnatic music is a system of Indian classical music that hails from South India, and it's really tied to Hindu philosophy. It was danced by women called devadasis in temples as a form of worship to the god of the temple. There's actually no real specific date of origin of this dance. I mean, some say it's like 2,000 years old. So at that time when the devadasis were dancing, they were part of a lineage of women who would pass this art down. And now Bharatanatyam is performed mostly in theaters across the world.
I studied Indian classical music, a tradition called Carnatic music. The way I relate to my cultural background is through music. The piece today, it's called Shajam, and Shajam is the name for the first note in Indian classical tradition, similar to Do. The interesting thing about this particular piece is it's a different take on a very traditional scale called Natakaranji.
When I choreograph new works, it's based on the traditional language, the movement vocabulary of our dance form. So we have a system of hand gestures. It's almost like sign language. We have a series of single hand gestures that we use called asamyukta hastas. When we use them when we're telling a story or doing abhinaya, which is expression, they do convey a meaning. So one hand gesture can have several meaning and used within a context of a dance choreography or a song. It has different meaning.
There are a lot of reasons why I really like to do dance now. It's a form of expression. There is that individuality that you're left to interpret that verse the way you want.
The It has such a strong legacy. It has been passed on from generation to generation. So that itself it's something you're proud of.
I get to take these poems, these poetry that, have either been written 100 years ago or 200 years ago, and sometimes even older than that, but I get to interpret it. How do I take the messages that they're sending to us and make it applicable to our lives today, if it's in India or if it's in the US or anywhere?